summer.
Yep.
Just turned summer. So we got some fun in store for us. So hello everybody, how y'all guys doing? Again, this is your boy Deacon Django. We are back again for another episode of our show. I want to thank everybody for joining in. Hello Trouble, how you doing? Girl, ain't you supposed to be on vacation? Boy, look at her. You see she already on the feed. She must be sitting in the airport somewhere. Yeah, Trouble, how you doing? You about to be trouble in paradise. So we are in today. We are get ready to jump into this because we have got a lot to talk about this week. But first of all, what's up, Rondon? Let me go ahead and take a minute. We got somebody sitting in for the illustrious Nikki G this week. We're gonna put her through the fires right quick. We're gonna send her through the hell and high water. Oop, hell and high water's down in Bahamas too. So we get ready to put her through the ringer this week. We're gonna test her out, see what she got going on here. Everybody, I want you guys to send an illustrious hello and a shout out to Miss Mama Mia. How you doing there, woman?
I'm doing good.
All right. And then of course, my man who don't ever grow any hair every week. Of course, he's bald as usual. My man, my brother from another mother, my man Head Sanford. How you doing there, boy?
What's up?
All right, then. And, of course, our brother on the wheels of steel over here. But we had Dynamic Dave, but he said sitting it out. So we got my man over here, the DJ with no name. How you doing there, bro?
Feeling good, feeling great. How are you, sir?
Okay. Oh, aren't you quite studious? How you doing there, young man? Okay. All right. So, anyway, today we're going to go ahead and get started. The name of our story, of course, like I said, every year we have to go and deal with this. And it seems like every week we're dealing with this. It's like every week almost. It's like a new reality episode of like how low can this country go? So this week's episode is going to be called What the Truth Tastes Like. And the first conversation we want to talk about, I'm gonna go ahead and start from the black hand side for a change. We're gonna go ahead and first we're gonna talk about the story that really hasn't been getting a lot of mention in the news because this other stuff has been kind of premeditated. And it's gonna be about the story of Antwon Rhodes. Are you familiar with that, Mama Mia? Have you heard about that?
I heard a bit about it.
Okay, well, let me go ahead. Head Sanford, you know about it?
Nah, I don't.
Okay, all right. Well, let me go ahead and put you guys. Hey, Nikki G. See, Nikki G watching you. She critiquing you, young lady.
That's
she
fine.
critiquing
That's
you.
fine,
You're going to get a
Nikki G.
report card when it's finished. Okay. So, okay. She at Bahamas on the beach. They got Wi-Fi down there? Okay. Stop playing. They got
Heifer.
I know.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for mine. I'm ready to go. So,
Right.
anywho. So, here's the story that they're not really talking about because it kind of got mixed in with the immigration issue with these children. Okay. She's on, Nikki G. She on. You gotta. She listening to my feed. She not listening to the radio. She listening to the feed. So, what happened is this young man, from my understanding, I only got bits and pieces of it, but I'm kind of listening to the aftermath. This is a 17-year-old African American male. He was. I don't know all the details of whether the vehicle he was in was stolen or it was just he was joyriding or if he had permission to drive the vehicle. But supposedly he got stopped in a vehicle. Okay, and he decided to get out the vehicle and run. And this happened in Pittsburgh, one of the Pittsburgh PD decided to shoot him in the back. So again, here we are, 2 years out of the Obama presidency, because you got to know that when Obama was president, these white folk decided it was open season on black males. You do know that, right? You do know it's always been open season on black males, but when black president came around, they just decided to kind of step it up a tank. So now here we are, and it's gotten so common, and cops have gotten off so much on it. Alton Sterling, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin. Now all of a sudden, cops are now the boy that got killed in Sacramento. I can't even remember his name now. I'm sorry. Sandra Bland, Felice Castile, the gentleman in Baltimore. I can't think of Freddie Gray. Was it that? I believe that was his name. The cops have been getting over so much now. Cops don't even feel the need now. If they tell you to stop, they're not even gonna chase you. Bam. They just gonna shoot you in the back. And the reason why we're having a constitutional crisis issue on this, there's a case, first year law school 101, Tennessee versus Garner. Tennessee versus Garner was 1985. It was ruling about the use of deadly force when a suspect run. Hey, Jerome. And it ruled about the use of deadly force when a suspect runs. Because you remember we had the issue in South Carolina with Alton Sterling. Now, here's the sad part about it for you guys who do not remember that case. That was in South Carolina. That was the gentleman that got stopped for the child support issue. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And as he was running away, the cop shot him in the back. And then had the cojones to decide to plant a gun on him after he shot him. Tried to say, well, that was the reason why he shot him. That cop got a hung jury. How the hell do you get a hung jury in a case like that?
Right. That's crazy.
And supposedly, hey, oh, there you go, Mia. How you doing there? Yes, I'm here. Mm-hmm.
That was good.
See what I'm saying? Black folks always trying to either micromanage or we up here trying to look. So here's the problem. In a country where we talk about justice, delayed is justice denied. He got convicted, but he didn't get convicted on the state level. He had to get convicted on the federal level. So now what it seems like now is that we have this thing called pure jury nullification. Juries can look at the facts and say, hell, we're not going to rule based on the facts. We're going to rule on our biases and prejudices. So when we have an issue like this, now you got it where juries can sit around here and see a problem right in its eyes, right in its face, right in its in videotaping, right on cell phone camera. And they used to always say that video evidence in a case, especially if you're being prosecuted, is admissible because it's hard to fake video evidence. Remember that? But video evidence usually is very damaging and very damning in prosecution cases. Okay? So my problem is if video evidence is damning in these cases, how come it's not damning when it comes to the police? How come juries can look at it and decide, no, we're not going to rule on that. Oh, we don't see it all.
It's because the system's working effectively.
Well,
Come on, Mama Mia. Come on with it. This is your chance to step out in these waters.
all right. Well, let me go on and step my toe in it for a second.
Well,
Juries
put your feet in there.
are comprised of people.
Right.
And people have a habit of bringing whatever their life story or their perspective into a situation. Mm-hmm. And most of the times they have decided in their mind that Black people are a threat for whatever reason it may be. It is puzzling to me. Mm-hmm. Just, a couple of weeks ago here in Tennessee, a guy shot up the Waffle House and the Black guy stopped him. Right. And this guy was on the loose for almost a day and a half.
Right.
But when they found him, he was coming out of the woods. Now, this guy was armed.
Right.
Coming out of the woods. We know that he's a threat, but somehow he was arrested without incident.
Well, this is a colonizer.
Of course, this was a colonizer.
It's a colonizer. See what I'm saying?
That's why I'm telling you, he was able to be arrested, apprehended without incident. Mm-hmm. And then we continue to see all of these Black folks being shot down like dogs.
Right.
And without any repercussions. But I will tell you this, there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
So it's not as if this is a new occurrence, because it's not. My whole life, this has been going on. Right. And it probably will be going on for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm really not sure what can be done to change it, because even back in the 60s, usually, or 70s, 80s, whenever, when people were trying to convict people for hate crimes, it wasn't called hate crimes then, but civil rights violations, they had to do it on a federal level. Right. Well, now you have 45 and his cronies in there. So I doubt that you can even get something prosecuted in the way that it should be on a federal level.
Right, and Shady Jeff. Shady old Jeff. And that's the whole point. Go on. It hits everyone. Go ahead.
No, I'm just listening.
I told you talk too much. Anyway, so you're right. This is where the problem comes in at. And this is what we talk about. This is what the truth tastes like for a Black male. In fact, for Black people. Let's not even talk about Black males. Let's talk about Black people in general. And let's just talk about how we see it on social media. The Black coons. I'm sorry, the cons, as we call them, the Black coons, they always have this idea that how we should respect America and all of this, and Black people are part of this country. No, we're not. We've never been part of this country. We've never been. We've been considered a supplement to this country. That's all we've ever been. And when we see these problems, going on at our front door, and people are going to sit around here and from my understanding with the Rose case, of course, here we go. Police chief says, hey, yeah, we're going to make sure you guys get investigated because there have been massive protests about it. And here's the deal. I don't think there's an issue about people saying, well, whether or not the boy was actually doing something criminal or whether or not he was wrong for being in the car and jumping out, because the initial perception is that if you're in the car and the cop stop you, you jump out, obviously the car might be stolen or you're not supposed to be driving, you don't have a license, whatever. The point of the matter is, when does it come to a point that cops become executions simply because, look, you know what, I ain't running after this dude. Pow! In the back. This boy obviously
car theft is not
right.
a capital offense.
Right.
You know, selling cigarettes is not a capital offense.
Thank you.
These cops are acting like all of these crimes, because the first thing you'll hear people who try to excuse this behavior say is, well, they were committing a crime. Well, they may have been,
right,
but it wasn't a capital offense.
Right, it's not a capital offense. Right.
So why are you giving them the death penalty for having a bad attitude, for not, listening when you said something that or selling cigarettes, whatever the case may be?
Well, it's NIMBY. You know what NIMBY stands for, right? Not in my backyard. It doesn't. White people don't see it that way because they're not the ones losing their sons and daughters. Only time they get afraid about losing their son and daughters is when one of their own colonizers goes and shoots up a school. Then they're outraged, and then some of them don't even care. Then they're going to keep sticking to their guns. They're going to say that that was the big old thing. My right to have a gun outweighs your child's safety. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
Plus, they know the police automatically get
or they'll say that their child is suffering from depression. He was bullied. He has mental problems. That's the reason for him shooting up the school. When in reality, I don't know how any black man in this country doesn't
I'm
have
surprised
PTSD.
all of us ain't shooting up school. As much as black people done went through this country, that'll be 15% of the population shooting up every school in this country if you really want to go there. As much as what black people have had to deal with in this country. But all of a sudden, it's just like the old adage said. It's just like the old adage said with Malcolm X. He said, when black people, if a black person, he said, that's why black people don't escape prison. You understand what I'm saying? Whenever you see a prison outbreak, it's not black people, it's white people. Black men, he said, black men don't get out of prison. We don't run out of prison. He said, because anywhere we go, once we get out them gates, it's still a prison. You see what I'm saying? So what is the point of escaping a prison when you still in the outside and you still in a prison? So white people have this privilege that they realize, they're going through. What do you have? And here's my point. They have this idea, this notion that life is supposed to be perfect. Okay, 400 years you had privilege. Okay, I get that. You running on this identity politics that your skin somehow gave you privilege. I get that. But what do you have to be depressed about? You have a 400-year head start on everybody else. The black people, the Native Americans, the Hispanics.
They're about to start losing their power. That's what it is.
Thank you. They're losing it. Go ahead.
Anytime somebody has a threat against what they want to hold on to, they're going to behave in that type of way.
Right.
But the reality is you have too many people that look like you and I who subscribe to the same philosophy.
Right.
We can't. I'm so tired of a protest. I'm tired of a boycott. I'm tired of all of these things that we do in order to get the colonizers or whomever to be accepting of us when they're not going to be. Simple as that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to ever happen.
Well,
so I wish that a whole lot more of our focus as a people would be on looking within our culture to figure out what we can do on our own to move forward, because they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. You have a few colonizers who may be there to help, but I tell you one thing, just like I think it was Muhammad Ali said, if it's a room full of snakes, I'm not going to try to figure out which one is poisonous. I'm just going to stay away from the whole room full of snakes.
That was
you
a
know
good
what I mean?
one. Mama Mia throw some shade. I like that one. You're right. You're right. If you're in a room full of snakes, you don't try to figure out which one is poisonous. You're absolutely right. So, and it goes to the issue too. I think a lot of white people are looking at this country like Rome. They're looking at us as their view of history is looking at it as they look at it as the Roman Empire. The argument that they had with the Roman Empire, the reason why the Roman Empire fell, because it allowed too many. One, it stretched the empire too much, and when it stretched the empire too much, it became overruled by people of various cultures. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they said as long as when the empire stayed mostly Roman or mostly quote unquote Italian and European, it was strong. It was when it was a republic. But when it became an empire and it stretched out too far across the world, then it started letting foreign soldiers in, foreign people into the empire. Because in Rome, to be a Roman citizen, you had to basically be either a colonized out of the Roman Empire, and you had to be a corporated citizen. But the fact of the matter is, they argue that, the reason why Rome fell is we let too many barbarians in the gates. That's why you hear that old term, the barbarians at the gate. And that's the way a lot of white people look at it. Well, we getting ready to become a browning country. You saw this senator or the senator prospect, and I think he was at a rally talking about the schools in Arizona, about how 60% of the kids there are minority. And he was complaining. Yes. He's complaining.
Well, first of all, they didn't mind black people being over here when they were trying to build this country. So, you can miss me with that logic.
Right.
They can absolutely miss me with that logic. If you didn't want us here, you shouldn't have brought us here.
Right.
Period.
Well,
that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the thing about this country that makes us a little bit different from most other countries, or bigger countries, like Japan or China or any of those places, is here is such a diverse country.
Right.
There, of course it's not going to be a lot of prejudice because it ain't a lot of diversity.
Well, right. They're more homogeneous countries, right?
Exactly. Right. So the dynamics that I feel like we deal with here, everybody's tribal, and everybody's and they're becoming more tribal as days go by. Everybody's picking their corner, and so it's almost impossible to have a conversation with a colonizer or even a black person that thinks a little bit different. Because don't even get me started on trying to have a conversation about, religion or anything like that. You can't have those type of conversations because people are so embedded in what they believe that they don't open their minds to hear anything else. And so when you're trying to get legislators or police to hear what it is exactly you're saying, or when you're saying this is why Colin knelt, it had nothing to do with the flag. When you're trying to have that conversation, people don't want to have it. And when I talked to this one guy about a week ago, he said to me, I feel like everybody should stand. And I said, well, I understand that you feel that way.
Right.
And so I feel like you should stand.
Right.
But I don't understand why it bothers you for me not to.
Right.
So that's the thing about, for me, for a lot of things, I'm not telling you how you need to do it.
Right.
I'm just asking you to let me do it the way I want to do it.
Right.
So when you're talking about police brutality and the murder that continues to go on within our community, when you tell somebody to stop and comply and do all of those things, that may not be enough, because when they have, it hasn't resulted in their lives being spared. When you say put body cameras on police officer, it hasn't helped because you have the footage and nobody's still being convicted. So what's the next move?
Right. And that's the point. It's like we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. It seems like if we comply, we dead. You see what I'm saying? If we throw an attitude, we dead. You see what I'm saying? If we stop and comply and show our thing, oh, he's reaching for a gun, boom, you're dead. If we get out the car and run, even though hey, what's up here, Sanford? You up here, man? And if we sit around here and get out the car and run because we don't want to be caught, we dead. Okay? When we sit around here and we stand for and put our hands on our hearts for the national anthem, we still dead. When we sit around here and we kneel because we want to complain about the injustice in our country, we dead. So it like I said, and that's one of the things I read in an article. And Obama in his post-presidency, President Obama in his post-presidency, he said this. He said, and he said that he was basically referring it to the 2016 election because, of course, he tried to be a gentleman about things like he always tried to be. But of course, he was not happy about Trump becoming president. So he said the thing I wonder, he said, did my presidency come 10, 20 years too early? He said, because it seems to me after the results, because he was not necessarily saying about the viability of Hillary Clinton either way. What he was arguing was that how did Trump even become close to even looking at the presidency? And he said, it seems to me, he said, after my presidency, he said, it seemed to me that people just wanted to fall back to their tribalistic ways. That's what it's saying. And that's what you mentioned. People fall back to the tribe. So basically, you got two types of tribes. You got the racist, I call the racial tribe, which is the identity politics. It's black, white, Hispanic, Asian, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have what I call the political ideology tribe, which is conservative versus liberal versus moderate versus libertarian versus whatever the hell you want to be, raccoon, whatever you want to be this week. You see what I'm saying? So that's what. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Can I be a true devil's advocate?
Sure, go ahead and be a true devil's advocate. I thought you was anyway, so I'm going to talk with you after this show.
Okay, so let me ask this.
Uh-huh.
I'm one of those folks who's very disappointed in President Obama.
Okay.
And I really wish that President Obama had the gall that President Trump seems to.
Right.
We've had years and years and years throughout our country. We've had white presidents.
Right.
We get one black president who has 2 terms. Now, the first term, I get it.
Right.
Don't disturb the waters. Keep everybody happy.
Right.
But that last term, especially the last year of the last term, you have absolutely nothing to lose. And at that point, why wouldn't you use the power that you have to exact some real change for black people? Why wouldn't you go Killmonger on some folks?
Okay.
Why wouldn't you just go all in?
Killmonger.
That's my position, because when are we going to get that opportunity again?
Okay,
if black people are not looking out for black people, why would we ever expect a white person to look out for black people?
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate back. Let me retort.
Okay, give it to me.
Okay, you're right. The first term of President Obama, you're right. I agree. I think he was a little too passive. But if you look at Obama's history, even as a state senator, he's never really been technically a liberal. He's really been kind of moderate with liberal views. You understand what I'm saying? Because when he first came out in his first term, he was very what you call anti same sex. But then when he won the second election and he came out, remember, for it. And you're right. Closer to like 2014, you started seeing this little shift in Obama. And Obama started getting on the mic and he started saying what he felt. You understand what I'm saying? Especially in 2015 when they got close to that election. But you also got to remember the dynamics of politics. When you got another Democrat that's going on and supposedly is a strong candidate, Hillary Clinton, you don't want to enrage the waters too much because you still want to appeal to those moderate and those moderate voters that are coming in that look up and say, well, dang, if we vote for another Democrat, this is what they're going to do. They're going to sit around here and go John Blaze like this at the end of their term, going around calling us colonizers and saying that white people didn't gave me a chance. Because basically, if you look at 2015 on, Obama was really, if you look, just go and look at some of his, he was saying what he felt. But he also knew as a black man, he had to be very careful what he said.
Doing stuff.
No, but he did that. He gave away a lot of pardons. He gave away a lot of pardons in last year. And if you look at his record, you can Google this. Look at his list of pardons. He pardoned a lot of people because he knew that was where a lot of his power resided. It was in the power of the silent pen. So I'm not going to get to a point that I'm going to throw out the whole baby with the bathwater because, yes, Obama did do some stuff, but he knew as far as his vocality was concerned, the one thing he didn't want to be perceived as, and you got to also remember this too. When Obama's done and said, the last thing you want to do is make it where so many white folks are alienated, they're not even going to come to the poll for the next black politician that come up in there because they're going to be like, you know what? We told you. He don't like colonizers. He's been playing that role for 8 years. We knew that's what he was. He was an angry black man. Now, don't get me wrong. Some white folks like a black man and going to tell it as it is. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, but the result was the same. He was passive. He didn't disturb the waters, but we still ended up with Trump. So
that's true.
You're not gonna change how somebody feels if they are truly a racist. Mm-hmm. But I think for black people and liberals and Democrats all together, if they think that they're ever going to move the needle forward, they're not going to do so with this passive mentality. Right. Because we're in a battle, we're in a war.
Right.
You can't keep on walking around holding hands, singing Kumbaya. That's not moving the needle.
Sometimes you just got to punch people in the mouth like I did a couple weeks ago.
Exactly. Again, like I said, I'm Team Killmonger.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I was saying Hillary just wasn't a good candidate. I mean, people knew. the Republicans knew she could be defeated because remember when she first ran.
Well, she's very polarizing. Yeah.
Remember 2008 when she first ran against Obama, and they was telling Republicans to go out and register as Democrats to vote Hillary in as the primary winner, so John McCain can beat, because they know John McCain couldn't beat Obama,
right?
But he could beat Hillary.
Right, and well, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Two things Hillary, I think, had never learned is that, one, she doesn't see the train coming.
Yeah.
She didn't see it coming with Obama in 08, and she
Right.
didn't see it coming with Trump in 16. And what it is that she sat around here taking stuff for granted. That's what beat her. It's like they said, if she had went to some of these states like Minnesota, she took it for granted she was going to get it. And that's what, and ultimately that's what got her. Mm-hmm. People can sit around and say, yeah, okay, we understand she polarized and they up here trying to lock her up and all this other foolishness and whatever. But Hillary hurt her own self because she took for granted and she didn't understand the angst of white people. And a lot of the angst of white people unjustly was thrown at President Obama because they wanted to fall back to the tribe. And here's the thing you got to give Trump credit for. If you don't give him Trump credit for nothing else, he says he's like Al Bundy. He's like the Al Bundy of presidents. He says what's on his mind. He doesn't care how offensive he comes off. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in this country, especially working class people, that are the same Al Bundy type. Well, you know, a fat woman came into the shoe store today. That's the way they are. They're these no ma'am type people.
But he knows how to work a crowd. He'll just say anything that he knows the crowd wants to hear.
Right.
So he'll just say, even if he knows he's not going to perform it, he'll say, well, I'm here to save your jobs. I'm going to create jobs, even though all these jobs are being outsourced.
Right, all these jobs are being outsourced, even though he never. Go ahead, sweetie.
But what one of the things that he is authentic.
Oh yeah, he's authentically crap. Yeah, that's for sure.
He's authentically full of it, a demon possessed booger bear, but he is authentic.
He's authentic.
And one of the things that Hillary was authentic,
right?
Or she didn't come off that way,
right?
And so what I tell people all the time, even at work in my workshops and stuff, I tell people you can't sell what you are not. You can sell what you are.
Right.
Anytime you're trying to sell something that you're not, you can't. Right. And Hillary has said some real bad stuff. About, in the past about, the super thugs or whatever she called them. Black kids or super predators.
Predators, yeah.
She wasn't my person. She wasn't somebody that I felt real excited about.
I was a Bernie guy.
But I think that Democrats in general take our vote for granted.
Right.
They, in general, think that we're a monolithic group of people and all of our values are the same.
Oh no, the black coon is the prime example that we're not monolithic. I mean, you got some black folks. One, they're 3-4 things. They hyper partisan. They are highly what I call homophobic, and they are also highly what I call it nationalistic. Like America was the best thing to them since sliced bread.
You got to blame the church for homophobia, though.
Huh?
You got to blame the church for homophobia.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we can figure out many arguments for homophobia, but you understand what I'm saying. You have black people that cling to some very highly conservative values, especially black folk in the South. They cling to some very high, and look, I get it. There's certain values, even if you're not, quote unquote, a Christian, that you want to believe in. You know, some people believe it's always been Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. I understand that. But people have to understand anybody that's too much of anything is an idiot. Okay? There's something that I'm liberal about. There's certain things that I'm moderate about. And there's small things that I'm very conservative about. Like another man getting up in my bed gonna get punched in his mouth. Okay? So what I'm saying is, so all I'm saying to you is that people need to understand, and people don't know how to be multitasking on those things. They just, I'm all conservative. Anybody that makes up their mind before the issue is out is an idiot. Okay?
But so many people make up their mind before they know. You can't have a conversation with people about things that can be polarizing because they refuse to hear anything different. So with Obama, he didn't have a problem pushing the LGBTQ agenda.
Right.
He pushed that and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it.
Well, that's a big voting block too, because the
but so are black people, and that's my point.
Right, it goes beyond just black, and because you got black people that are gay, you got white people that are gay, you got Hispanics that are gay, you got Asians that are gay, you got men that are gay, you got women that are gay. So
you got more black people than you got gay people. There are more black people than there are gay people.
Well,
and he's black.
Well,
and so he should have put our priorities in front of that priority. They got what they wanted.
Well, let me correct you on that. They're gonna probably be more gay people than they're black people, because you got white people gay too. You probably got some gay raccoons too.
I'm about to Google it while we're sitting here. I'm about to check.
You ever seen two male dogs get it on? They
I don't know, but I did see a chicken and a cat the other day on Facebook.
The chicken and a cat. Oh, yes. I want to know how that worked out. The chicken and the cat. Yes, I want to know how that worked out.
Right.
Tell me what we got going on here. So let's do this. We're going to take a break, and then we get ready to get into the poll children. That's going to be our next topic right here on Devil's Advocate. Stay tuned.
Poindexter Furniture has it going on. 3-piece motion set, $1099.99. Get a free area rug when you purchase any living room suit. Ashley Bitchcraft also available at Poindexter Furniture, 1613 South Main Street in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Call 870-534-2303. Don't forget to ask for other great deals. Who's got it going on? It's Poindexter Furniture in Pine Bluff.
I smoke while I'm watching cartoons. I have my first cigarette of the day when I get up. We smoke in the car on the way to school. I smoke while I'm coloring. I smoke during my nap.
When you smoke around your kids,
I'm down to about a pack a day.
It's like they're smoking. Secondhand smoke can hurt their lung growth and permanently damage lung functions.
I tried quitting. I need to try again.
Secondhand smoke, it's nothing to kid about.
Brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health. Your tobacco tax dollars at work.
B&H Productions presents the Diamonds of Gospel Extravaganza, featuring Daryl McFadden and the Disciples. George Dean and the Gospel Four. The Gospel Legends. The Echo Airs. The Swanee Quintet. Chuck and the God in Clouds. And Minister Charlie Brazil and the Angels. Hosted by recording artist Dr. Sean McLemore. Sunday, August 19, 4 p.m. at the Crossing Community Church, 3225 West Orem Drive in Houston. Tickets available at tdofg.org. And New Beginnings Tax Service and more, 5710 North Lisa. Call Brenda Robinson Butler, 832-455-0834, or Kathy Hardy, 346-757-1700 for more information. Sponsored by New Beginnings Tax Service and more.
Store-wide liquidation sale. Most items priced below cost. Use our no credit check purchase plan with 120 days same as cash or your tax refund. Lowest price guaranteed. Call 562-8333 for direction.
Hi, this is Alvin from Habibi's, 4317 East Broadway in North Little Rock. We still have the green top at your very next stop. The same great service, but more of it. Give us a call, 501-663-1553 or 664-2992, or call our toll-free number, 1-877-HABIBI-1. Diapers, pull-ups, hospital beds, wheelchairs, Simply Thick, diabetic supplies, underpads, and more. Your durable medical supply center.
Store-wide liquidation sale. Most items priced below cost. Use our no credit check purchase plan with 120 days same as cash or your tax refund. Lowest price guaranteed. Call 5.
All right. We are back, folks. Out here with Miss Mama Mia and, of course, my man, Head Sanford. We are doing it today. She's been pretty good so far, hasn't she? Yeah. I'm going to email her a fish sandwich. She's been doing pretty good.
By the way, I did look up the statistics, and 3.8% in 2017 or 2015 of people identified as gay, lesbian, or bisexual or trans. 3.8%. Black people are 12%. So, again.
But we used to be 15%. And what happened to that other 3%?
The police keep shooting us.
We're probably dead, but anyway. The cops been killing all 3% of us, but okay.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's, and then, I say they killing off 2% of us, we killing off the other 1%. Black folks, we got to do better.
Right.
We got to do better because we can't just throw all this in the cops' lap, even though they trifling. We got to do better too. Because there was a rapper that just got killed in a holdup. I mean, I didn't know the guy. He's not in my generation. But
XXXTentacion. And there was also
how do you pronounce his name? Because I don't know. I said I don't know.
It's Hispanic. It's XXXTentacion.
Tentacion.
It's basically temptation.
Yeah, temptation. Right. So yeah, he got shot in a holdup or something.
Yeah. There were two. It was he and it was Jimmy Wapo out of Pennsylvania.
And they got were both of them killed or just him?
Both of them were shot and
killed.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Over holdup. Over stupid, senseless, retarded holdup. Somebody wanted to rob him. Black folk. And they got the guy, a tattoo artist in Miami area. Senseless, retarded, stupid.
Yep.
I agree.
Okay. But anywho, look at Rondon. You see Rondon on Bookhover. You see it being trifling.
Hey, Rondon.
Uh-oh. Rondon a pimp. I'm going to have to go and get him. We're going to do a subject on pimping. Bring him on over here.
It ain't easy.
Hey, baby. How you doing? I want to be your lover. I want to be your friend. So we're going to go back. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about, this immigration issue that's been here. And, of course, I've looked on Facebook since it has started since last week, and a lot of people have had mixed views about it. What is your view on the kids being ripped apart from the family? Mia, what do you think about that? Because I've been seeing some black folks have been going off about that too.
You're right. I think it's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, flat out horrifying. Anytime that you are taking children away from their parents,
mm-hmm.
that is a horrible, horrible situation.
Correct.
Now, I did hear somebody try to make the comparison between people who go to prison, their kids are taken away,
right,
and then the people who coming over here, their kids are taken away. But I will say this: usually they aren't taken away; their kids aren't taken away and put into some detention facility.
Right.
They're usually gone on with their family, another family member, or somebody.
Right.
They're not put in these, what looked like a dog pen, from the best I can tell.
Right.
And I tell you another thing that's really aggravating me. 45 has the nerve to want to be praised for signing the executive order to stop it. But that's like an arsonist wanting you to thank him for putting out the fire.
The fire that he created, right?
He started.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I've heard so many carrying the bathwater. Oh, well, Obama did it too. Look, let's stop right here. Immigration policy has pretty much been the same for the last 30 years. Obama,
right.
Yes, did deport a lot of people back, but he didn't rip families apart. He got people that were coming across the border, send them back. Because, of course, again, when we talk about complacency, he had to look tough on immigration. Don't want no Barack Hussein's coming across the border now, do we? Okay? So my thing about it is there's a difference between enforcing immigration policy that's already been on the books for decades and sitting around here forcibly ripping families apart and putting kids in detention centers like they're Japanese back in World War II. Okay? So,
right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. I mean, I've heard people say that law has been on the books, and it has been. It was on the books during Obama's administration
mm-hmm.
and Bush's administration.
Right.
But nobody actually did it. It would take this fish-eyed monkey fool to actually do it.
Old fish-eyed fool. Yeah, it was the old fish-eyed fool that did it.
Right, man, right.
Right. And here was the problem where it comes in. Then, of course, then you got the colonizers. Here we go again. Here they go. NIMBY, not in my backyard. It ain't my problem because it don't affect me because I was white, Mr. Charlie. Oh, well, if they weren't out here breaking the law, they wouldn't have to worry about their kids being taken part. Is that how you justify that? So the father, the crimes of the father visited upon the children is what you're saying. Well, if that's true, then I think we need to put some of y'all in chains, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
The sins of your grandparents means we need to put a couple of you colonizers in chains. Let y'all get to see what it feel like. Don't you think? Because that's what they're saying. Well, the sins of the father be visited upon the generations. Okay, cool. Father broke the law. Y'all broke the law when you can't. And see, here's the thing I just don't understand. White people came into this country. They didn't come in and ask the Indians or the natives could they come in here and meld. Then they took it. You know, yeah, some of them came in and coexisted peacefully with them for a minute, but their agenda was to take the land. And the more colonizers came over here in the 16th and 17th century, the more they came in here, they started to colonize. That's why we call them the colonizers. And as soon as they got in here, they felt that, these natives, Pocahontas and Redfoot said that we should go and kick it with them. Nah, we're just going to take it. And that's what they did. Okay.
But that's what they do.
Right, and that's what they do. And my thing is they didn't ask about immigration policy. Well, Pocahontas say she only want about 1,000 of us coming in a year. They threw the middle finger up at Pocahontas and Geronimo. Right. No, we just gonna come in here, we gonna take your stuff, and if you're nice, we might put you on a reservation. Give you a little part of land away from us so we don't have to deal with you. And think about it. When we've grown up, how many movies did you ever see, especially back in the days, and I'm a little bit of an age, I'm becoming an old man there. How many movies did you see back in the days where every time you saw the Indians, they call them the Indians because, Columbus thought he was in India. Did you see them portrayed as savages against the good old white folk? The old black and white cowboy and Indian movies. Mm-hmm. The Indians were always the enemy, and that's how they've always been perceived, as the enemy. Fighting against people who had the right to come and have this land. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not the truth. They were fighting against what they saw as people taking their land.
Well, I've heard people say before, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Right.
It depends on what side you're on. Right. And so they've always portrayed and branded Native Americans as the enemies in movies, or ignorant, or drunks, or
savages, or
scalpers,
something,
something scalping people,
raping they white women.
Show them as the warriors that they were.
Right.
However, I asked this guy one day, and maybe you can tell me. He's Native American out of Philadelphia, Mississippi, and I said, "Where were the Native Americans during slavery? Like, what were y'all doing?" Mm-hmm. And
was he Native?
He got really, really, really quiet. And I said, I can tell you what I think that some of you were doing. I think some owned slaves. I don't know what the bulk of you did, because y'all were missing. Like, you were completely missing.
Well, you know why they was missing? Because they was relocated. That's why they was missing. The Natchez, there's a reason what Natchez was an Indian tribe. They were relocated. That's why they were sent on the Trail of Tears. See, that happened back in the 1830s and 40s under Andrew Jackson. That bigot that they tried to celebrate.
But before then, when they were bringing us over here in boatloads, where were they at?
Right. Because, they probably.
Where were they?
Right. Well, and see, here's the issue, and this is what I've seen some black folks have an issue with. They're still arguing. Their argument is, Hispanics ain't March 1st. Okay, look, I think what resonates with black people when we talk about what goes on in immigration policy is that we've seen this parade before. So it doesn't really matter to me what subgroup is getting put in a concentration camp, or what subgroup is getting dogged out, or because my question is, are you going to find racists in every group of people that don't like black people? Of course. You're going to find racist Hispanics. You're going to find racist Asians. You're going to find racist black folks. I'm not saying racist as far as want us in their shops. They just don't like black people. They've been conditioned not to like black people. Okay.
Well, we all have biases. Everybody have biases, but it becomes a problem when your bias impedes on my rights.
Right. So the issue becomes is black people, since we have been the most marginalized with the Native Americans in this country, we know oppression when we see it. So when you start ripping apart, and just like a woman said, she said ripping apart families, that's been America's history for what, 400 years?
Ever. Since
slavery. So why are people shocked that it's going on? The reason why we're shocked that it's going on is because we claim or are supposed to believe that we're beyond that. Now, we're not. Technology is outpacing our values. You see what I'm saying? Now, instead of us just being Klansmen in hoods at a payphone, we're now Klansmen with cell phones and can videotape.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Jim Crow is now morphed into James Crow Jr. Okay?
Well, you know, all of these people who I see saying this doesn't look like the America I know, I'm like, well, what America?
Well, right now, what America you know? Because I'm the America I know. Been always
exactly
like this.
Like the America I know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is what we do. We divide, we conquer, we are savages, we mistreat each other. This is a rough way over here. It really is. This is the battle of the gladiators, battle of the fittest. And you know, we really have to take a look when we see somebody being mistreated and stand with them. Mm-hmm. But I have to tell you, you know, I'm one of those folks. In my past, I have stood with everybody about something. Right. Everybody. You know, when they were trying to not let the Muslims in this country when he first got elected. Right. I ain't like that. I felt like that was wrong. When they were really, you know, doing gay people and trans people badly. Right. You know, I stood with those people. Right. I always find myself standing with everybody. But what frustrates me is that when it's something going on with us, we standing by ourselves. Right. Right. And that's a problem. You know, where is everybody's outrage when it's happening to us? Now, I'm not going to say I don't see a few white people sprinkled in the group. And maybe a few white people, you know, 1 or 2 Hispanics in the group when people are marching for Black Lives Matter. Right. I might see a couple, a few here and there. Right. But nowhere near the outrage that you see when they're being mistreated.
Well, that's because one
of those groups. We as Black people, Wakanda Forever, are always trying to save everybody else. Well, and if you look even at the Black Panther movie, that's exactly what he did. He decided he was going to share all the good stuff with everybody else.
Oh, that could come up and bite him in Black Panther 2, but we're going to wait and see what that do. But because here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you why that is. Let me tell you why it's such an issue and why it's real touchy for Hispanics. Because you have a lot of Hispanics who are of European origin that can fit in with white people. And if it wasn't for their last name, you probably wouldn't even know that they were Hispanic. You understand what I'm saying? So,
then the question is, why do we need to be running up in their face trying to fix it for them?
No,
why is that? Mm-hmm. Why? Now, I'm going to say, this whole caging these babies, that's something beyond anything that's going to ever be okay. Right. But why are we that concerned about issues that don't impact us as a people? That's my issue.
Well, I want to say it this way, and I said this on Devil's Advocate. I think it's a dry run. Because, see, what you do is if you want to do something on a bigger scale, and you know, I listen because I watch my boy Bill Maher every Friday. He said this. He said, I'm going to tell you now, what Trump is doing is a dry run. And it really, it's not just started with Trump. It's been where the direction this country has been going for decades. Over militarization of the police, extreme hyperpartisanship, misinformation in the news, Supreme Court, highly conservative Supreme Court activist judges. This country has been kind of dabbling its toe in fascism for a minute. And what we're waiting on is we're waiting for that president that's getting ready to take us right there. Because even though we've had it in the legislative branch, even though we've kind of had it in the judicial branch, we've never necessarily had it right in the executive branch. Yeah, you've had some presidents who were bigots and conservatives and stuff like that, but they still had their own little definition of what American freedom was. But you got certain presidents like Trump. He says he can pardon if he want to pardon anybody he want to pardon, including himself. So basically what he's saying is now I can be above the law.
He wants to be a king.
Right, he wants to be a king. Everybody told that lie about Obama. Oh, he wants to be a king. Really, was he? Because if he was the most maligned king I've ever seen in thing. Ever. Everybody hated him. Well, at least most people did. Or some people did. I said, this guy goes up here, and now the Republican Party is not even the Republican Party. It's the party of Trump.
It is. And the hypocrisy of it all. You know, at first, you had all of these Republicans saying, well, they need to abide by the law. They need to abide by the law. If they didn't want to be here, if they didn't want their kids to, you know, be separated. They should have come in here legally. They don't need to be coming over here. That was their whole thing. Well, by the end of it, they had changed it because they realized they were in such a small group of folks that would think that that's okay. Even their own people, even the so-called evangelicals, some of them were like, "No,
biggest
man, you
hypocrites
can't be
on the
doing
planet."
this."
And if
You
that,
know?
and look, and I hate to say that because being that we're on Christian radio show, if that ain't the reason to kind of move around from church, I don't know what it is. Because here's my point: Mahatma Gandhi, not necessarily the most unbigoted person on the planet, he said, "I love you, Jesus. I just hate you, Christians." Mm-hmm. Because anytime evangelicals can vote for a guy who has a history of no values, because see, their value is not family value. Their value is money. And you have a sick trifecta in this country. It's called a trifecta because there are three things they value: ultranationalism, racism, and money. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. Flag, money. I want these Negroes around me. That's it.
Now you guys are in Arkansas, where I'm absolutely from, and I'm living in Tennessee right now.
Please don't remind me.
You can't find a redder place in the country than Arkansas or Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Nor can you find a poor place in the country than Arkansas and Tennessee. Them white folks are sure enough poor in Arkansas and here in Tennessee, but they will vote outside of their values just to make sure that they're doing better than the black person that they see.
And my thing is, a lot of them ain't even doing better, because trust me, I travel around this state, and some of the houses you see that people live in, I wouldn't go in there to scratch them.
I know.
If he called me the N-word, I'd be like, "Oh, you inside that nasty house? Go on, bro. You got that N-word for the day." Mm-hmm. I ain't going there because I would probably get gangrene just walking on their porch. And these people love that, and they stick to that. They listen to that bubble. And the only thing, and let me tell you something, don't mess around. And these are poor people, and don't get this stuff twisted. Don't get the game twisted about who they are. They in a part of that state, the only thing they listen to is conservative radio, Fox News, and Christian radio programming. If you got regular radio and you ain't got shit, that's all they listen to, because that's the only thing. And country music, that's the only thing you're gonna get up there.
But you know what? I gotta hold Christians accountable just like I hold black policemen accountable. Mm-hmm. If you got people in your ranks that are doing things that you know is outside of the value that you hold so dear and near to your heart, you need to be the person that polices that. You need to be the person that calls them out. Right. It doesn't need to be somebody outside the church to deal with those evangelicals who are white nationalists. It needs to be people inside the church. Right. It doesn't need to be, only us citizens who are saying, "Why are you shooting us?" It needs to be people inside the police force saying, "Why are you shooting them? What are you doing?" Calling them out. Mm-hmm. Because until then, if you're in a family, the best way to get somebody to act right is for a family member to tell them to act right.
Or punch them in the mouth, what I do.
Exactly, because we understand each other on a level other people might not. So I can say stuff to you that I couldn't say to somebody else, right?
Right.
So why aren't these people who are watching these babies be separated and understanding that some people on the far right Christian left is excusing that? Far right Christian right are excusing that behavior because it's the president that they love. Why aren't they calling them out?
Because they share the values. That's why. Let me tell you something. Either you have two things. Either you have outward consent, or you have consent through silence. And if you sit there and you don't say anything and you allow that to go down, then you're consenting through silence. That's why I have an issue with black cops that don't call out cops to shoot black folks unprovoked. Because if you're going to argue it's a thin blue line, then you consent through silence. Mm-hmm. Because the problem with it is, these cops not going to change. So my question is, why you ain't going to them? Why you ain't going to them and say, "No, I'm going to break ranks with you"? You know why? Well, what dirt do they have on you, and who they know how many of your mistresses they have, and all of this other stuff. So, you can't dance with the devil without eventually having to pay the cost. And that's what the truth is. Stop dancing with the devil. And,
you have folks that are excusing this who are pro-life, which is puzzling to me. How are you pro-life, but you're okay with seeing these live babies, the ones that are up and moving around, being treated this way? So you're pro-life, but you're not pro-living.
Right. Well, let them white folks, let them colonized babies be in them cages, and let the oppressor be Hispanics. Watch how fast that policy gets changed. I told people this. It is the same thing we talk. Let's go back to what the truth tastes like when we talk about police issues. If we want to talk about police issues, let those settlements, because a lot of cops just settle out. They get off acquitted, but the city settles with the family. Let those settlements start coming out police pension funds and watch how quick those shootings stop. Let them start coming out your retirement. See how fast it stops.
I completely agree. I feel like those families need to start doing civil lawsuits and suing individuals.
Yeah, and the
city
needs to
their
stop
house,
identifying.
take everything.
Right, and put them on the street so they can use the N word. They get punched in the mouth.
Exactly, because the one thing
I go
that
by and punch them in the mouth
seem to
for
respect is money.
Right, and that's what they respect is money. And trust me, when this stock market eventually sinks, that's when it'll come to them. How did the right wing divorce itself from its ideology from Bush when he sank the economy? And what it is like they've forgotten what they went through with Bush, and they're going again until Trump eventually sinks the economy, which he's going to do with this trade war and everything else. So while we're talking about that, talking about the economy, but let's talk about this clown with this new Space Force going on. Luke, I am your father. Because I want to know when we get ready to build the Death Moon. It ain't going to be the Death Star, because we ain't get there. It's going to be the Death Moon. Who going to build it? I think he gonna put some Hispanics on them so he can go and have them. He can have them grow some fruit on that Joker and stuff. They're gonna be picking the fruit on the Death Star.
They are not taking no Hispanics or blacks up there. They getting it.
No,
ready.
They probably leave us up there.
They gonna leave us all down here, and they going up there.
No, he
they getting ready.
Well, he's trying to do that so he can build those space wall for the space aliens. There you go. They go to March. Darth Vader's. See, that's what I'm talking about. Because Darth Trump says, "I am your father."
He breathes like that if you pay attention to it.
He do breathe like that, don't he? He breathe like that because he greasy, so he has to. When he breathe, that chicken good. So that's what happens. So when we
sound like the folks that had the CPAP machine.
Well, he's gonna build a space. He wants to build a space wall for them space Mexicans that are coming to invade. So, and I mean, was that not the biggest distraction ever from the detention case? Was when he sat around here and talked about a space force. I mean, and I ain't even lying. I saw white people rolling.
Everybody had to take a moment to just go.
People
okay,
is this serious?
You're just doing way too much, homeboy.
People was this serious? Yes. He went. Pew, pew, pew. He went serious laser gun on us. DJ Nona, help me out here, bro. What's going on at home, man? I mean, try to talk to me.
I don't know. And look, here's the thing. Being a veteran, this has confused a lot of people that I know. Thank you. Because it's like, and one of my Facebook friends asked a really important question. He said, if you decided that you didn't want to, join one of the branches that we previously have, why would you want to join the Space Force?
So you can be a stormtrooper.
It makes no sense.
None at all. But you know what? We got to leave that there because the jokes at this point just write themselves. No. They do. So you know what, Mama Mia? I want to appreciate you. We're gonna see you next week.
I'll be here.
Because Nikki out here kicking on beat. I'm going to talk bad. HUD, Trouble, Hell and High Water. She done took all my co-hosts from me. You
can't be talking about my Nikki.
Look here.
Ma'am. That's my girl right there.
Ma'am. Yeah, she done went down here. She kicking it on Blue Waters, which I'm going to be doing in about another couple of months. So I want to thank you for joining us. And yeah, we stuck here just holding the fort down for a while. She gone. We hope she enjoy her vacation with the Trouble crew. And we want to thank you for joining us and holding it down. We'll see you next week. Oh, take time. Let me shout out to Black Swan Catering. We got your commercial, Curly and Will. So don't. Yeah, we go ahead and make sure we get y'all squared away. And don't forget, we got a picnic coming up 1st of September. I'm putting things in motion right now for that. And we want to thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Head Sam, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you. We see you next week.